Hello, everyone, and welcome to another webinar powered by Royal Cyber. My name is Ali, and I'll be your host and one of the speakers for today. Now, some ground rules for a smoother experience before we begin. If you cannot see my screen or hear me properly, kindly notify me at the chat window on the right side of the pane. Now, during the presentation, you can post your questions and comments in the chat box anytime. Also, there will be a dedicated session for question and answers towards the end of this presentation. Your questions will be answered in the sequence in which they are received. Additionally, you can post your questions or write to us for a follow-up information on the email ID shown here, which is info@royalcyber.com. And finally, we would love to hear back from you about today's session by completing a short survey, which will be shared towards the tail end. Okay, now in the next 45 minutes, we will discuss how IBM DataPower Gateway revolutionized the performance and monitoring capabilities of your organization. And now to present this topic, we have, I'd like to introduce the speakers. By the way, that's me on the left-hand side. I'm the practice lead at Royal Cyber, focusing on helping customers get their best ROI on their digital transformation journeys. And alongside with me is one of my great colleagues and a knowledgeable friend, Mr. Subhashish Sahu. Mr. Sahu is a senior technical architect for IBM Technologies at Royal Cyber. Now, first thing first, let's have a glance at Royal Cyber. We're a mid-sized IT consulting and digital transformation company specializing in services, solutions, and softwares. We have over 2,500 plus employees globally. Our headquarters is in Naperville, Illinois, and we have a global presence with offices in Canada, the UK, Australia, and the Middle East. We do have multiple offshore development centers in India and other Asian countries, and our strategic partnership with several technology companies providing best of the breed software and solutions such as MuleSoft, Software Group, Salesforce, SAP, etc., coupled with business agility and following the Sun delivery model makes a Royal Cyber an obvious choice for our customers globally. We have awards and recognitions as well. For example, we are ISO 9001, 27001 certified. Then we have a couple of partner awards as well for our best delivery and sales. Now let's talk about what I'd like to cover today in the agenda. So we have the exclusive use of data power. That's what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about the capabilities. We will also discuss the security features of IBM DataPower Gateway. We will talk about some of the use cases within the different industries, that how data power can be helpful within these different industries. We have the extensive monitoring capabilities within DataPower, and we'll explain to you how these extensive monitoring capabilities will come into the picture. We'll talk about service level monitoring capabilities that most of you have not explored or maybe used it before, along with the IBM DataPower Gateway X3 features. Now from here, I'd like to hand this over to my colleague, Mr. Subhashish Sahu, and he's going to take you forward with this entire journey of how data power is going to be essential in your organization with different capabilities. Over to you, Subhashish. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali, for providing a great start to the webinar today. A warm welcome to everyone. I am Subhashish. A brief introduction about me. I work as a technical architect for IBM DataPower at Royal Cyber, and I will bring in a wealth of experience into the field of integration. So, over the course of this webinar, which will share not only the technical capabilities, but also some of our hands-on insights that from the real-world implementations that we have implemented here in Royal Cyber. So Ali has already briefed you about the agenda for today. So moving on, what is data power? So data power is one of the finest uh, developments from IBM, which has been serving the organizations for years together. It has been one of the consistent cash cows, bringing in a wealth of experience, wealth of kind of solution to all the integration world. Talking about data power is an enterprise grade security application. It not only mediates any two applications together, but it also enhances the security and optimizes the performance of it. Now, coming to the purpose of data power, for any disparate systems, we use data power to bridge in the gap between those two. So moving on, coming to the capabilities of data power. So the three striking capabilities or striking features that we can talk about is security, integration, and optimization. Talking about security, data power provides security at multiple levels, not just enterprise level, but also the transport layer and be it the message layer and the list goes on and on. So going forward, let's deep dive into the security. What are the aspects of security that data power provides? To start with, authentication and authorization. So DataPower supports basic authentication, that is the username password, OAuth, the SAML, LDAP, JWT, and all these type of authentication methodologies or the protocols are supported by DataPower. This is basically used to authenticate and authorize any of the user before letting the user in to access the resources. Talking about the transport security, so when any components are connected on the internet, be it a server or be it a client or any system or any application, the tunnel between these two systems or the layer of the layer of connection between these two systems is encapsulated with the help of these protocols SSL and TLS. And data power very widely, very vividly provides this capability to encapsulate the layer of this transport layer with the help of certificates. Moving on, message security. So we have talked about so far the authentication and authorization of a user, how it is brought in to access the resources. We also talked about the transport layer and how the transport layer is encapsulated. Now diving a bit further, the message layer. What exactly data power has capabilities to provide message level security. So be it the web service security or the XML encryption, the JSON, or the latest trend that has come in the perfect forward secrecy. So in this particular methodology, in each of the session between a client and a server, a new token is generated and the token is encrypted. So this enhanced security, it makes the system very much robust since each and every session goes on or carries out a new token and a new encrypted message digest. So this keeps the system very much rigid and robust, and it prevents the man in the middle attack or any such threats as such. Now coming to network and API security, data power has inbuilt features. We will discuss all those going forward. Inbuilt features wherein it is able to act as a firewall and also filter the IPs or limit the traffic based upon the configurations that we have set up. So we will not need any additional firewall or kind of IP filters to prevent those or to allow particular traffic from particular IPs. Coming to data security, so data power provides enhanced security, not just the data at rest, but also the data in transition, the data in the moment. Coming to hardware security, so the hardware security model, I mean any keys, certificates, password, anything which is very much private or which is very much important, that can be stored in data power using this hardware security model. And again, this uses the latest security model in the market, that is FIPS 143. Now we talked the different aspects of security. This makes data power a fortress for API enterprises because of the wealth of security, because of the depth of the security that data power provides. Moving on, integration. So integration has been one of the forte of data power, wherein data power is able to seamlessly integrate with any of the components. To start with, API integration. IBM DataPower is able, integrates with inbuilt IBM component, that is IBM API Connect, not just innate solution, but also any third-party API proxies, be it your APG of Google, be it the Kong, or any other open source available in the market. DataPower seamlessly integrates with any of these API proxies to provide a robust solution, robust integration. Coming to message and event-driven integration, again, IBM has its own tool, that is IBM MQ. Not just data power, gels well just with IBM MQ, but it is also able to cater to any of the external messaging queue applications, be it Apache Kafka, RabbitMQ, or any Java messaging service. Coming to enterprise service bus, Again, IIB and IBM App Connect Enterprise, the latest, the new development of IBM, IBM ACE. DataPower integrates with both of these IBM solutions or any open source tools of the market, be it MuleSoft, TIBCO, WSO2. So all these ESB applications are easily integrated with DataPower to provide a robust solution again. Coming to further for the different types of integration, be it the relational database, file transfer, or the cloud. Coming to relational database, IBM has its own solution, that is IBM DB2. But not just that, DataPower also integrates quite well with any of the open sources, be it MongoDB or any of the other vendors, CouchDB, Cassandra, likewise. Cloud has been the talk of the market, I mean, since quite a few years. And the obvious solution to migrate from on-prem to cloud is the hybrid model before completely leveraging all the services onto the cloud. IBM has its own innate solution, IBM CP4I, Cloud Pak for Integration, which provides, I mean, it is kind encapsulate, or it is a kind, it provides all the solutions of IBM within a one package, that is the CP4I. DataPower integrates or works great with IBM CP4I and any of the external I mean, public clouds, be it Amazon, Azure, or Google. So each of these can be deployed, or can be secured or integrated very smoothly with the help of with IBM DataPower. Coming to different types of file transfer and B2B, mostly used in the business to business integrations. Any of the protocols, be it FTP, SFTP, FTPS, or different messaging formats, it's the Edifact, EDI, Tradacom, all these kind of integrations is easily done with the help of DataPower. So moving on, we will discuss the different use cases wherein DataPower excels and has pioneered ahead of all its competitors. Coming to the API management, financial transactions, message transformation, cloud integration, mobile app security, protocol transformation. We will dive into each of these topics in detail and discuss what are the use cases and what are the examples, how it is related and how it is used. Coming to API management, DataPower acts as the best security proxy I mean, we all know the risk of exposing APIs directly onto the internet. So an API proxy is definitely needed to not only take the load of the APIs, be it the security, be it the transformation, be it the rate limiting. Not just that, but also the security enhancements that it provides. So DataPower serves as a secure and high performance API gateway, and it easily manages the APIs, taking the load or the burden of the servers, backend servers. It acts as a reverse proxy to control the traffic, as we already spoke about, or the rate limiting, or any sort of authentication authorization mechanisms that we want to prevent the mishap before coming it to the backend servers. Example, banking application definitely use this feature to safeguard their mobile apps or their web portals, and to prevent those from the man in the middle attacks or any external threats. Coming to financial transaction, again, in financial domain, DataPower acts as a critical, and it's pretty critical in handling secure real-time B2B transactions, be it the Swift payments by SFTP or any of the payloads or schema validation. Everything is provided with by DataPower, which lets DataPower secure solution to any of the banking applications. Coming to cloud integration, which we already spoke about, how DataPower is able to integrate with not just CP4I, which is an IBM solution, but any of the public clouds, be it Amazon, with Google or Microsoft. So it easily integrates with all these cloud integration, and also it also integrates with the on-prem servers, all the obsolete legacy servers. So it is not just advanced, it not just allows advanced capabilities like cloud integration or the hybrid, but also caters the need of any organization who are still leveraging or still using the old and obsolete systems because of their dependencies. So DataPower acts a beautiful bridge between uh, enhanced cloud, and also is able to bridge to the obsolete or the legacy system that has been existing. Coming to the message transformation, DataPower is able to convert any message type to any message type, be it any system generating messages. DataPower can receive an XML and uh, transform that into a SOAP or a non-XML or JSON, depending upon depending upon the client from which DataPower receives message and the recipient of the message, what the message type they want. All those transformations are easily done on the DataPower. Moving on, mobile app security and protocol transformation. Mobile app security, any applications that we use on the mobile or the security part of that can be easily taken care of by DataPower, be it the DDoS protection with the whole help of the device validation. For example, mostly the banking applications, we have device validation. I mean, a same account cannot be opened on multiple devices. So those kind of device validation or the device ID validation, all those can be easily done on DataPower. Coming to protocol transformation, let's say one of our client is on MQ protocol. They want to send messages via messaging queue platform, whereas and recipient they want messages on the HTTPS protocol. They have a or an FTP protocol wherein they have a storage, they have a folder, and they want to receive messages there. So in this disparate system wherein we have a source which is relying on MQ and we have another recipient which is on FTP, these different types of protocol which are very much different from each other, DataPower bridges the gap beautifully and seamlessly and helps them to transfer messages without any barriers or without any issues. So moving on, performance optimization techniques. So data power, the caching, be it the caching, data power has the capability wherein it has very fine-grained caching, so that the performance is increased. Any repetitive calls or any transaction, so it need not necessarily reach the backend every time. It fetches those data from the cache such that the performance is decreased, the processing time is reduced, and the speed with which the message is processed is pretty much increased. Load balancing, DataPower has an innate solution wherein it provides the load balancing to the backend servers, which again we will discuss with a couple of screenshots which we have brought in for this particular webinar. Without depending on any external load balancing, DataPower provides internal load balancing as well. Compression, well, while transmitting the data, so we DataPower pays a special attention to the processing speed and the time consumed in processing of the messages. So any bigger chunk of data or any big size of data is compressed and transmit. This helps in the speeding of the data transfer. Coming to the load balancer groups, which we just talked about, how without depending on any external load balancer, DataPower has the capability to, let's say any backend, we are sending a message to a particular backend, but the backend has 4 different servers, and they want messages to be received on a round robin basis or any methodology that we have discussed during the requirement gathering phase, and they want the servers to be equally load balanced and not any just particular server to be loaded with too many things. Or let's say we have a logic, different types of messages needs to be sent to different types of servers in the backend. So all these setups can be done on the data power without having a need to be dependent on any external load balancer. So here we see a snippet of a load balancer group wherein we can define the members which will be receiving the messages, the type of algorithm that we would choose while sending the messages or while deciding on what basis the messages needs to be filtered out or sent. So we have multiple different algorithms. Everything which is available in the market is supported by DataPower, be it the round robin, the first alive, the hash connection, least connection, weighted round robin, and weighted least connection. So each of these different types of algorithm is easily supported, and the multiple backends in the multiple servers in the backend can be easily the messages can be easily sent with the help of any of the logic that we decide before, without loading any of the one particular server with too much of data. So when we talk about adding multiple kind of members, so DataPower provides addition of up to 64 members in a one particular load balancer group, which means a particular message which is processed on DataPower, it can be sent out to 64 different servers in the backend. And all these can be added here with the help of additional members. Okay. So moving on, load balancer group and the health check type. We have multiple type of health check, be it the standard health check or the TCP, even the TCP half, which is the latest addition in the IDG X3. So all those different health check types is also supported with data power. More or less, what we conclude is we do not have any difference or much of a difference within an external load balancer, which we go for, and the load balancing that DataPower provides. It whatever we get in any of the external load balancer, DataPower caters the need of all those and provides an inbuilt solution for the internal load balancing within DataPower without having a need to depend on any external sources. Coming to monitoring, monitoring is a pretty, is pretty vital for any organization, be it financial, be it pharmaceutical, be it banking. So monitoring plays a vital role. And DataPower has multiple such metrics, multiple such alert setup thresholds, wherein it provides a fine-grained monitoring experience. We have multiple built-in monitoring tools to track all these critical metrics. Even the alerts that are set up on DataPower has the potential to detect the issues beforehand and allow or alert the user or the application owner to take steps beforehand. It also provides the log analysis, which aids in the troubleshooting process and also identifying the patterns of the types of error, the type of issues that we face. So we will discuss that. We will deep dive a bit into the monitoring capabilities of DataPower, wherein we will be discussing how on what measures DataPower filters the traffic, how a log is analyzed, and what are the capabilities that DataPower provides, which helps us with the easy troubleshooting or easy identification of any error. So performance monitoring, security monitoring, log analysis, we will discuss all this in detail. Now coming to message monitor. So what message monitor exactly does, it monitors the type of message, the count of message, and the duration of the message. All the capabilities that an external monitoring tool provides, DataPower has something inbuilt which can be attached to any of the service, and we will be getting all these metrics. So as you can see in this particular snippet, message monitor type. So there are, it is broadly divided into two. What exactly are we trying to find? Are we if I'm willing to just count the number of messages for one particular attribute, or I want to see the duration of the processing of the messages for any particular attribute. So on this basis we can configure two different types of message monitor, which we will see going forward. So coming to this message monitor, you can see when we set up a message monitor, it is not just uh, the incoming messages. We can check for the request, we can check for the response or the errors. So different types of messages, be it the incoming, outgoing, everything can be monitored or everything can be thoroughly analyzed on DataPower. So that's what which we talked about, different message types, be it request, response, errors, or even the XPath. XPath is nothing but like if you see in this particular URI, how we have a URL and the URI following it. XPath is a kind of a path for a particular message in any XML file. So if we provide different matching patterns, even that can be easily identified and taken account of, or the duration of that particular message processing. So here we are seeing the message type as we talked, message matchings. If I want to match the header information with any particular string, or let's say I want to see, I want to uh, have a count of the messages coming for a particular. So let's say Reebok in that example. So if I want to see all the messages coming in from that particular source, so I can match any of the particular string and place it here with the help of message matchings, and we can get a proper count of what is the count of the message for that particular service. So matching is again, it is different. As we spoke about in a few of the slides before, data power can act as a firewall, but it can also act as an IP filter, wherein let's say if I want to be listening to only a particular IP, or we want to be blocking to any one particular IP, that can be done with the help of data power. Even the different message types, even different HTTP methods, be it get, put, head, post, patch, the the usual ones which we come across in day-to-day life. All these different types of HTTP methods again also can be segregated. Let's say we have got a message for one particular service, and I want to have a count how many put I have received, how many get, how many retrieved, how many patch. So all these different parameters can be easily segregated with this particular configuration. So our dependency on any external monitoring tool can be drastically reduced, or it can be done replicated completely with the help of IBM DataPower within the DataPower service alone. These are the couple of screenshots which shows how we match a HTTP header, either it is with a string or it is with a token. or any other strings that is relevant with that particular header. Now coming to, we discussed a bit about the count metric. I mean the count of the message, be it of different HTTP methods or be it of different messages coming from a particular IP or messages being blocked for a particular IP. All those were the count metric of the monitor. Now we can also set up likewise the duration metric, wherein we can evaluate the time taken by DataPower to process that particular message, be it with that can be matched with any particular string, and again different HTTP methods like put, get, patch, post, likewise all different types, not just the request but also the responses, server, errors, everything, all these different types of messages, the duration taken to process all this or the duration taken to receive an acknowledgement from the backend server, all these can be configured on DataPower. Now we talked about the counting of messages depending upon different parameters or the duration. Now we will talk about rate limiting of the message. Let's say I want to protect my backend. I don't want to overhaul or overwhelm my backend with too many messages. And many times we have seen, the messages either come in bulk. The messages do not come, or the traffic does not come in a consistent basis, or at times it's not in a sequence basis. At times, 20 we receive bulk of the traffic just for a small duration, and the remaining part of the day is mostly idle. So even that might be the case. So for a small duration or the short duration of time, we need not necessarily increase the processing speed or increase the amount of expense that we send for the backend to be processing the messages to a significantly higher number, be it storage or be it in processing. So what we can do, we can place something before the backend such that it limits the rate and make sure the no transaction is lost, but it is processed gracefully. So all these different types of control metrics can be set up on DataPower with something called SLM, service level monitoring. So SLM has multiple features. Be it notify, shape, and throttle, which we will work in. What exactly is notify? What is shape and throttle? Notify is something wherein, let's say I want 100 transactions per second in my backend, and I am aware that beyond 100 my backend will not be able to process that. So we can set up a alert on DataPower when it breaches 80 transactions per second. We can be notified so that we come to know, okay, it has already breached 80. Maybe it can also come closer to 100, which the backend will not be able to support. So those kind of thing we can set up in notify. Now that I am notified beyond 80, okay, the transactions are rising, the incoming messages are rising, I have been notified. So what next? Let's say I do not want uh, the backend to be overwhelmed with too many requests, but rather I do not want the incoming calls to be failed as well. So I can queue them, or I can put them in a queue so that the processing takes place on its own pace without letting any of the transactions fail. In that case, we can set up this shape methodology, wherein any additional traffic which is coming beyond a certain processing TPS that we have set up, that will be in a queue, and it will allow for a graceful processing of the same. One more aspect is throttle. Many a time it even happens that our backend cannot support beyond a certain. Let's say my backend is configured for 100, maximum 110, 120. In those cases, we can opt for shape, wherein additional messages will be put on queue and it will allow for graceful processing. But let's say my backend can only support 100 transactions per second, but what I'm receiving right now is 1000 transactions. So in that case, it is a big overhaul. So what we can do in those cases, we can start rejecting the message. Maybe it's a threat or it's any attack. So we can reject all those kind of messages. So that particular setup can be done with the help of throttling, which DataPower beyond a certain threshold, it will start rejecting the messages such that your backend is very much protected. So we will show you a couple of config setups wherein how SLM has been set up. So this is a web service proxy, which is usually used to encapsulate your backend, and it even does not, it completely abstracts the setup. It is only the processing is visible, but from what is the source, what is the backend, everything is completely encapsulated. So here we have set up a SLM, and we will show what exactly is being done here. So DataPower also has a feature wherein we can demonstrate or we can showcase these kind of graphs to understand where exactly is the error coming from, or what exactly is the processing speed, what is the latency, where is the latency coming from, is it from the backend or is it from the DataPower server itself. All these different types of metrics, different types of data can be easily portrayed on this particular dashboard with the help of these graphs, and it's very much meaningful and helps a lot during troubleshooting or any incident analysis. Now here what we can see, it is a SLM rate graph. So what it basically shows, the one in dark blue is showing the normal transaction speed. The one in dark blue, which is around, what you can see is hovering around 1 to 1.6. It is ranging beyond that. So that is the transaction speed with which transactions are successfully processed. But we can also see a couple of errors there. The one in the purple, it also shows a couple of errors. So let's say right now I have just come across some error, and I could sense that just 16 or 17 minutes before there was a slight error. Likewise, before 54 minutes there was a slight error, that I mean intermittent kind of issues which we are seeing. We have successful transactions, but we also had couple of errors. So with this kind of data, it is very easy to track when exactly is the error started, or is it a completely 100% error, or it's an intermittent error, or there is no traffic at all. So all these metrics is provided with the help of this SLM rate graphs, which proves to be quite handy during any of the troubleshooting or incident analysis. Now coming to SLM latency graph. So many times it happens, I mean, you would have also experienced, no one wants to acknowledge the fact that our system is not able to process properly, or is taking longer than the normal. But with this particular feature of DataPower, it clearly shows where exactly is the latency or the delay coming from. Is it internal latency which belongs to DataPower, I mean the latency is caused from DataPower, or is it from the backend server? I mean, what this helps in assisting in troubleshooting, it provides a clear-cut information to whom to reach out, what exactly to check, whether it is data power or the network layer or the backend. So this provides a clear-cut picture where exactly the latency coming from, thus by saving the time, much needed time, and the mean time to react, and it the it helps the user or any engineer working on any of the issues to quickly reach out where exactly is the latency coming from. And this provides, I mean, this proves pretty much vital during all this incident analysis and troubleshooting. Now coming to SLM count graph again, this all these numbers can be set up. Uh, it shows the successful transaction, what is the count of the transaction per minute, and this graph shows the metrics per minute, and these all are in thousands. And you can also see the small errors that we have seen. So it also provides the count of the messages, not exactly with the help of numbers, but with the help of graph. If you want specifically numbers, so we can configure a message count monitor, which we discussed a couple of minutes back. So we talked extensively about the monitoring capabilities of DataPower, be it trying to identify the count of a message, the duration of the message, be it with different request, response, error, XPath, or different HTTP methods like put, get, patch, modify. So or filter out any of the particular IP or block any IP. All this can be done with DataPower. Now we will be moving ahead and discuss what next. I mean, what do we have further on IBM DataPower? So the latest addition of into DataPower is the IDG X3. So IDG X3 is the latest publication from DataPower. Now coming to IDG X3, which is the latest version of IBM DataPower. So it introduces massive performance gains up to 40%, be it faster passing or be it the enhanced security, improved performance, or simplified management, which is very much user friendly, easy to configure and administer. We will discuss that in depth. Now, DataPower had, I mean, before IDG X3, IDG X1, IDG X2 were launched, but compared with them, IDG X3 is 10x faster in terms of performance, on which aspects we will discuss in a short while. And also it's much more advanced and much more enhanced security it provides with in the latest IDG X3. Some highlights, if we can, we will discuss one by one. Yes, coming to HPC boost, or I mean the parsing process, the parsing speed, or the parsing of the messages that has been coming on data power has been increased up to 40%. Enhanced crypto, be it the HSM hardware security model, ECC elliptical curve cryptography, TLS 1.3, which is the latest version of the TLS, which I mean takes significantly lesser amount of time to perform SSL handshake and to trust a client. The native observability with Prometheus, JSON log, Grafana, zero downtime. I mean the Brooklyn type of deployment, the cloud native, it is easily compatible with the OpenShift or the sidecar. It is also compatible or able to integrate with the AI traffic, be it any anomaly detection. Many of times we have seen AI traffic being set up in multiple traffic spaces to identify any violations of the traffic. Even those can be easily set up with the help of these IDG X3. So this is a significantly advanced version, which is which integrates seamlessly and provides great features to be working with. Now, a brief comparison. We will not go into that complete technicalities of each of it, but a brief overview or vivid comparison of IDG X1, X2, and X3. And if you can see, the throughput has been increased significantly in IDG X3. In IDG X1, it was just 5 Gbps, 10 Gbps, which was still performing good. Now, IDG X3 comes with 14 plus Gbps per second, and it provides multiple. That's how the performance has been optimized and increased to a different level. Crypto, again from basic intermediate, IDGX3 supports TLS 1.3, ECC, HSM, everything has been on a very advanced level. Likewise, the TLS soft load, monitoring, cloud support, the OpenShift and the Istio has been the latest addition to X3. It is also supports AI ML. All these new features is completely supported by IDGX3. Now talking about why do we need to choose IDGX3? So if your organization is looking for something scalable, real-time observability, or any future-proof security, X3 should be the obvious choice. It's designed for modern workloads and integrates smoothly or seamlessly with any of the existing ecosystems. To few of the points to read out: performance first architecture, AI driven anomaly detection, zero downtime, upgrade capabilities, that is the blue green model, full observability, Prometheus Grafana, cloud native, DevSecOps ready. So all these features makes Data Power IDGX an obvious solution to any of the enterprise. So from now on, I will again hand over back to Ali, who will discuss the event offers that we have for today. Thank you.